Hello and welcome guys to this video where we are going to learn how we can create a stylized wood smart material in Substance Painter. So let's just start right off. You can go to File, Open Sample and just select the Meat Mat sample project. So I'm just going to use this project to create our material because this will be available in like all of the Substance Painter versions. So that's why we are going to use this. In the texture set list, you can just turn off the body and the base. We just need this head part and let's start. So this is going to be like a fairly simple material. You can select this layer and click on this delete icon to delete the existing layer. Click on the add new fill layer icon and just add a new fill layer, rename this to something like base. And now we can choose our base color. Obviously you can go for whatever color you want to, it is totally up to your preference. We can go with something like a wood type of color. Let's see. Probably something like this. I think this works fine. We can go with a color like this. I will also click on this folder icon to create like a new group and we can rename this one to Stylized Wood Smart Material just to keep it organized, and we can drag and drop our base layer in here. Alright, so now you can select the base layer, press Ctrl C, then press Ctrl V just to duplicate it and rename this one to color variation to add a bit of color variation in our material. Alright, so now for the color, click on here once again and basically we are keeping the color similar only, just making it like a tad bit darker or lighter to give it a bit of color variation. So I think somewhere around here is fine. And then we can just add a black mask to this. And you can go over here in the effects menu and add in a fill layer because we are going to use the fill layer to drive our mask. Go into the texture section of your shelf and search for a texture called grunge leaky paint. So this will give us like a pretty similar look to that like painted style as you can see over here. You can also notice that we do get like a bit of light reflecting back in our material. So go back to the base layer, turn on the roughness channel and just increase the roughness to like a little bit bigger number so that we don't get like any kind of reflection. If the roughness value is low, you can see the light is being reflected back. So I'll just increase it to something like 0.8. And now it's pretty good. We can come back to our grunge leaky paint. So just select it and maybe increase the balance a little bit and the contrast as well to like make the like color variation apparent. So you can already see that adding this makes a material look kind of like a stylized wood. So that is pretty good. You can play around with all of these settings that like we have the leak intensity, the leak scale as well. But yeah, I think this is fine for like demonstration purposes. One other thing that I will change is I will change the projection from UV to triplanar because sometimes we don't have like properly mapped out UVs for our models. So this can cause some issues like this mask because we are going to use it later on as like a smart material. So we don't want that. So just change the projection from UV to triplanar. You can see this will give you like a lot better projection of your material. And even if you have like a little bit of bad UVs, you can just go ahead with triplanar projection. It will give you like a lot better results than using UV projection. All right, so with that out of the way, we can just add in one another layer and we can rename this to dust. Now again, make the color a lot darker and you can add in a black mask, or we can just directly use a smart mask as well. So you can go into here in the smart mask section and maybe just use whatever mask you want to. There are like a lot of different options. I will just use this dust occlusion. And you will notice that it will add like all these darkness in your corners and crevices. This model is like not really a great way to showcase this. So what you can do is you can just copy this and enable the body as well and paste the like folder right over here. So just select the folder from over here and paste it in the body section so that you can see the dust added as well. You can see over here it is added. Now I will make a couple of changes. So select the dust and then select the generator that has been added. You can set the grunge amount to 0. We don't need like any of this grunge being added. If you want, you can add it a little bit, but I will just set this to 0. And now you can just control this overall dirt level to just like adjust the amount of dust being added in your corners and crevices. I will just decrease it to like a low enough number. I don't want it that much. I think this much is fine. Now you can just set the opacity of the layer, like the overall opacity, to something like maybe 70. Yeah, that's fine. I'll again copy this layer up and just come back to my head texture set, delete this older one, and we can paste this one again so that we can start working over here only. Again, open this up and add the next layer. So add another fill layer, rename this one to edges. And I think this is going to be the last one. So yeah, it is a fairly simple material. And for this one, again, just go with like a similar color to brown only, but just make it like a tad bit lighter this time. So let's see. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. So yeah, as I said, a pretty similar color to the ones we have used, just a tad bit lighter because we are going to mask it like around the edges. So again, you can use any of the smart masks that are present right over here, like the edge is strong or whichever one you want to. I'll just drag and drop maybe this one. Or no, I think I'll use this one. So just drag and drop it over here. And you can see it has masked out all of the edges, but it does add like a lot of like these scratches as well, which I don't think I want. So I will go with something like this. Yeah, as you can see, this gives it like a much better look, and we already have like our material looking pretty stylized. But to make it look a little bit better, what you can do is you can add in a filter from over here. So just add a filter and select the blur slope. So we have this blur slope. You will see it will make it like a little bit jagged this way, which you can now like control the intensity of, and it will give it that stylized look. You can also add this blur slope filter over here as well to do the same to your grunge leaky paint mask. So just add in a filter and select this blur slope, and you can see it will make it like this way. And you can play around with this. You can add more filters on top of this, like let's say we can further add in like a blur filter as well to make the details blurred out, or you can do the opposite and add like a sharpen filter, which will sharpen out the details. So yeah, whatever look you want to go for. And you can already see it gives us like a nice painted look. I will just disable both of these to show you what else we can do. Come back over here. You can also select another filter, which is the warp filter, and it also kind of gives you the same kind of results, maybe a little bit different, as you can see. So we can go with the blur slope only, just play around with the intensity a little bit. And one last thing that I will show you is the material is pretty much done, but to add like that final bit of stylization, we also have like a stylization filter in Substance Painter, which is recently being added. So if you search over here in your shelf, just search for stylization, and you will find this filter, and you can just drag and drop it on top of your material, and instantly you will notice that it gives your overall material that stylized look. We can click on the stylization filter and select the preset to painterly, and you can already see it gives you like a much better look. If you don't have this filter available in your Substance Painter because your Substance Painter is like a older version, I will add this file like the stylization filter file in the description link, so you can download it from over there and then just import it into your shelf, and yeah, you can use that as well. So yeah, we have our material now. So I've shown you all of the things that you can do, like you can combine it with using the blur slope over here, as you can see. If you combine it using with the stylization filter, you can do like all sorts of things. But I think even without it, our material looks pretty good. And yeah, we are basically done with our stylized wood material. So now to use it as a smart material, you can just select the folder, right click and go over here and hit create smart material. This way you can like use this same smart material whenever you want to in any of your future projects as well. So just drag and drop it, and then you can play around with all of the settings that we already have gone over. And finally, I think we can add a fill layer, sorry, just on top. Disable the color channel as well, so we don't need like any information. We can add in a filter and give it like a sharpen filter on top of this. We just want this sharpen filter to like affect all of the details. Right now it won't work at all because the blending mode is set to normal, so just change it to pass through. As soon as we do that, you can see our sharpen filter is working pretty good. Set this to something like maybe 1, and I think that is a nice bit of addition to our material. Yeah, just make sure to update the smart material, hit right click and create smart material once again, and you can just delete the older one. And with that, we are basically done. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, you can just hit like and also subscribe to my channel. I will be posting a lot more tutorials. So yeah, thank you.